So most of my questions from this rally came from the lack of liquidity and volume. I've took a whole bunch of information from my personal research and put it into my AI model just for it to help me with an idea of where crypto would be sitting or looking at within the next 3 to 6 months. So actually, let's get into this research here, guys. Make sure that you like and subscribe because I know a lot of people are wondering, right? We are looking at a few confirmation candles here. Going into the next week, which is positive. This is actually the hopium, right? We're closing above 92,000. Hopefully, right? If we don't get a correction that scoops us down, but I don't think no news or anything will come out today. Is Sunday. Usually nothing crazy comes out on Sunday, but we've had that before, right? Trump come out like Sunday right before everything closed and drop some crazy tweet. All right, so that could happen, but let's say it doesn't, right? And we do close above 92,000. That is bullish, right? That is a step in the right direction. The bear hopium on the bear cause here is, you see these little bars here of volume. You see how little this volume bar is compared to last week. This shows that the momentum is waning, right? And now we have to question if this rally will be sustainable, right? We have to question if this rally will be sustainable. I actually put my indicator back on. I'll put my script back on for you guys. Let me know how your weekly let me know how your week has went this week and what you plan on doing next week to make it a better week, right? Sundays is usually how we set the tones. So back to what I was saying earlier, we did get that buy signal, right? And now we're getting that confirmation candle here on BTC if we can close it above 92,000. So that's bullish. That's bullish, right? But you're seeing a lot of people kind of question if this rally is sustainable. And again, it's because of the lack of volume, right? The lack of volume here, right? I did a detailed analysis of the on-chain volume, and you can see here the month has just started. It's only the fourth, right? But you can slowly see the on-chain activity, volume on-chain activity, slowly decreasing here, right? Slowly decreasing since it topped out in January, right? That was the whole Trump dropped the meme coin. That was basically the local top. So this is my concern because you see the volume in the on-chain activity actually decreasing. You see the sentiment of cryptocurrency at its lowest, and then we also have the macroeconomic fears, right? So the key risk factors here is the stagflation, trade tariffs, Fed rate cut delayed, right? Because now we can get a delay, seeing that Jay Powell himself is depicting his data upon what happens with the tariffs. In fact, in June, now we got a 65% chance of a pause, guys. This is crazy. And this is what my AI model was telling me. And now the crazy thing about my AI model, bro, this is why I'm so invested into AI. Because even before this changed, where we had a 65% chance of a pause, we actually had a 65% chance of a cut. Now we got a 65% chance of a pause. So now the market, which has sucked a lot of people's liquidity in, as people thought that this was the next rally to take us to Valhalla. And this is why my live stream was split. It was 50% of people saying, hey, we going to shoot straight up out of here and correct in Q4. But then there was 50% that says, hey, we can either bleed out into Q4 or we can just trade sideways in a range into Q4. And then that's when we'll get our altcoin season. And now, right now, the media is telling us it's a 65% chance of a pause in June. This is a big change. Now, to be fair, everything that the media has told us, crypto risk on assets has did opposite, right? Well, I'm gonna just say crypto because stock market been in crypto, it ain't even together right now. They kind of decoupled, right? But let's say crypto has did opposite, right? They told us it's about to get bearish, trade, tariffs, wall, tension, war, whatever. Crypto stayed resilient, and then we seen a relief rally, right? Then think about it. 2 months ago, we got a whole bunch of bullish news, and crypto just kept going down. We got institutions getting in, the laws changing, meme coins are collectibles, Solana ETF, everything that we needed to go up has sent us down. So this is why, this is my concern with this market. and why I'm specifically focusing on sentiment, volume, and liquidity, because that's what matters. If we can get more liquidity coming into this market, there's a good chance that we go up. If not, we could bleed out. In fact, again, as I showed you, the sentiment is bad, but my AI model has gave us a market analysis. So Bitcoin outlook. Volume decline from 500 billion to 400 billion signals cooling momentum. Profit taken in macro uncertainty suggests a correction to 80K to 85K by June. Caution, right? Selling may go away. Altcoin activity. Though we have that caution, there is positive things happening short term. And my model has been telling me that for the last week. Solana surge and DEX volume is up, keeping momentum alive, though it's mainly the trenches, meme coins, and DeFi. But speculative retail focus may fade if Bitcoin continues to correct. So, everybody's not smart retail. We're smart retail. We look at the sentiment and we're like, okay, if I'm looking at the sentiment, right? And then I'm just going to screenshot this for example. If I'm looking at the sentiment, right? Let's go to market catch up. You can already see the best times to buy is where we're at right now, right? The best times to buy is when the sentiment is at its lowest. So what you might, contrary to many's beliefs who may think that I'm bearish, I'm actually opportunist to the opportunity that may be ahead of us. But you can't ignore the potential turbulence, right? You cannot ignore the potential turbulence that's happening with the macro environment. So, yeah, Bitcoin might be looking strong, but the same cannot be said for altcoins. You can actually see the volume there on this week decreasing from last week. Taking a look at the total 3. So, and you could already see us starting to get rejected here at this neckline, but still printing a confirmation candle above the trend line, right? And we did get that buy signal, but you can see here this week, altcoins have been looking pretty weak based on the volume and the liquidity, right? With a lot of these low liquidity altcoins. So there will be altcoins that pop here and there, but you kind of can feel like what I'm saying is like, okay, yeah, this rally was nice. It was a relief rally. In fact, my AI model told me it's going to be about 2 to 4 weeks where we do see things rally. But because of the macro concerns, you're going to get an opportunity to buy the dip. So all the people that was like, Millie, I missed the dip, we started pumping. You guys, have patience. You're going to get another opportunity to buy the dip, right? I don't think that this chop is over with. I don't think that it's over with. I don't think that we're headed into an altcoin season. I don't think we will have an altcoin season until the Fed stops QT. So we're not going to fight the Fed. We're going to enjoy this relief, enjoy this rally, right? And we'll see how things open this week. We'll see how the stock market opens this week, how it reacts to the GDP, right? Is the stock market going to start pricing in the negative GDP, which is a potential recession? Or is the stock market and risk on assets going to start pricing in a potential Fed cut and easing of the monetary policy? That's where we're at. We got to ask ourselves what happens first, because the market is forward thinking, but there is no clear answer. So that's the issue. You're just going to have to hold on tight. If you got money to buy the dips, hey, you do what you do. I'm not looking at selling any of my crypto, but I've already consolidated and I'm already in stables, right? So I've already made those moves. So I'm not looking at selling anything right now. I'm just preparing for either a correction to the downside, or recession correction to the downside, or confirmation that we may be one step closer to an altcoin season. So I wanted to point that out to you guys. I don't want to make this video too long. Critical insight here is, while Solana's retail activity may be highlighted as a sign of crypto's resolved resilience, the broader volume decline in macro risk reveal underlying weaknesses. The retail focus on meme coins, combined with economic fragility, suggests this momentum is unsustainable without macro improvement. That is all my model is saying, and I typically agree, right? That doesn't mean that we can't just have everything turns green next week. My AI model already said that we can rally up to 2 to 4 weeks, right? But a correction is destined to happen unless we clear up these uncertainties in the macro, right? So you can take this information and do whatever you want to do. This is not a buy or sell. This is not a fear or FUD. This is a preparation of what we need to happen and what may happen next week, right? Next week. And, you can take this information, go research, back test it, do what you got to do, right? But again, this is just information. I'm not no expert. I'm not your financial advisor. I ain't your banker. I ain't none of that, right? But again, I am going to continue to have a conservative approach. And I will let you know, guys, know when I start to get aggressive and ramp up things. Let me know what you think about the current sentiment of the market back at all-time lows, guys. What are you guys doing, right? Enough about me. What are you guys doing, and how you plan on, attacking this market aggressively, and what do you think may happen? Are we headed into a recession? Are we already in a recession? Is altcoin season going to start happening next week? I'd love to know you guys' opinion. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll see you the next one.